So I just, and we are going to record it, by the way, just so I know there's some people that want to be able to watch that couldn't get on tonight. But anyway, welcome. My name is Allison Hodges, and I am just really glad that you're joining us tonight and actually just taking the time to be encouraged in your own health journey. You've probably heard that statement that says, if we have our health, everything is possible. And when we don't have our health, nothing else matters. And I just think that is so true. And I just want to say that what you're going to learn tonight from Elaine radically changed the health of my family. And so it is such a joy for us to pass it along. When I was in my 20s or actually my teens through my 20s, if you would have asked me about health, the only thing I knew of was what caused weight gain. I think it's just a female thing, isn't it? That we all focused, at least at that time, the big focus was on low fat. I really did not understand what it took to be optimally healthy. And then when I was in my early 30s, my father was diagnosed with cancer. And my mom, who's very savvy and research oriented, she did her own studying, and that's when we learned the correlation between our diet and disease, or you could say our diet and health, depending on what we consume. So I am very excited to turn it over to my very good friend and mentor, Elaine Mason. She's a certified health coach, and she's going to share some hard facts about the health in our country, but also some very encouraging things about what we can do to change our personal story. So thank you, Elaine. I'm going to let you run with it.
Thanks, Allison. You guys, I'm so excited to be with you this evening. And, it just warms my heart to see just everyone and how young you are, but yet you're focusing on your health, and just kudos to you guys for doing that early. My health journey started 23 years ago, and I think it was kind of like you. I was laughing at Allison when you were saying, relating to food that made you fat. For me, I think I wasn't a junk food eater, so I didn't think I needed to think about it. And then I remember bringing our oldest daughter, Ansley, home from the hospital. And I remember looking at my husband saying, I can't believe they're allowed us to bring her home. What do we do with her? Like, I just felt so ill-equipped. And I just remember thinking, what are we going to do with this baby? And then I'm like, she's either going to, barely survive or thrive based on how I feed her. And that, in conjunction with my husband, was getting some life insurance. And when he was tested, he had these really high iron levels. And so I've got this new baby and I don't know what to feed this baby. And then I've got my husband now who suddenly has this iron issue. And I'm like, what's going on? Well, the only thing we could think about was that every year we kind of would say, okay, this is a year of finances and we're going to focus on finances. And this is the year of whatever, our careers. Well, this was 1999. So you guys weren't even born. Well, let's see. Yeah, no. Anyway, 1999, you guys weren't even born yet. And it was the year of health. And so the only thing that I knew to do when it came to getting healthy was to take a vitamin supplement and exercise, kind of back to your thoughts, Allison. And so suddenly I said to my husband, do you think that multivitamin you started taking, do you think that's what's causing your iron to be so high? So he gets off the multivitamin, and 3 months later, guess what? His iron levels are back down to normal range. And so that's what that combination is what made me start thinking, okay, what does it really mean to be healthy, to be proactive with your health? And so I really started kind of digging in and trying to figure out, what is it? And everything I started reading just kept pointing back to whole food nutrition, fruits and vegetables. And so I thought, well, okay, how do I get fruits and vegetables in our family? And the only thing I knew then was to juice. Have any of you guys ever juiced before? Well, I'm looking, is it Katina? I'm looking at you. That the Masons were no good at it. I mean, my husband traveled every week, and then Ansley in Sydney, I'd put the juices down in front of them, and they would just like look at me like, are you really seriously going to have me drink that? So we were failing miserably. It was a solution, just not a very good one for us. And so it was at that point that I was like, okay, you know, there's a saying that says, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. And so I love that. And that's where my journey with health began. And so I'm going to share a slide, just some slides with you with some statistics on kind of where we are in America, and, you know, what's the solution to the health crisis, literally, that we have going on in America today. We're not very healthy at all. And I think maybe this, you know, y'all's generation is probably turning us back in a better direction. But right now, 1 in 4 people die of heart disease. 1 in 4. You know, when you think about that, you look at how many of us are on this call this evening. 1 in 2 women and 1 in 3 men will develop cancer. 1 in 3 will have diabetes by the time 2050 comes around. And then 1 in 5 of our children is obese. Dr. David Katz says our children are more harmed by a poor diet than by being exposed to drugs and alcohol and tobacco combined. And what's causing it? And I think for me personally, I'm beginning to even see it more and more as just the toxins that we're exposed to. It's in our water, it's in our air. There's, you know, pollution, water contaminants, pesticides, prescription drugs, chemicals, skincare products. We're being inundated with toxins everywhere we turn, not to mention the poor quality of our food, and it continues to decrease. More than 50% of what Americans eat is processed. They have preservatives, flavor enhancers, emulsifiers, synthetic vitamins, growth hormones, GMO, less nutrition, pesticides, trans fats, artificial colors. It continues to go on. But I think even more so, even if we're doing a good job eating the fruits and vegetables, here's what's a scary thought, that the broccoli we're eating, by the time we get it, we purchase it, it could have lost 50 to 80% of its nutritional value. So what do we need to do to be healthier? You know, we talked about exercise. I mentioned that. I think we know that. I think the older I get, the more I realize how important sleep is. Managing stress is a key factor, and as well as I think we drink more water than we used to. And I think we're starting to become more aware when it comes to those safer products. But I think the simplest thing of all of this is just to eat more whole food. So tonight we're going to focus on fruits and vegetables, because that's something we really can control. I think a little bit more than anything else. And experts agree that most diseases are preventable with good nutrition. So I don't know if you guys are familiar with the word oxidative stress, but it's the bad news about oxidative stress is that it causes aging, disease, and then ultimately death. But the good news is there are antioxidants in fruits and vegetables that protect our cells from the oxidative stress. Like, I love this picture because I think a picture is worth 1,000 words. And if you see on the left where the apple's beginning to rot and deteriorate, but yet on the right, it looks like it was just sliced. And why is that? On the right side is where the lemon juice has been spread over that side of it. And inside of fruits and vegetables are antioxidants. You know, we're always going to be breathing in oxygen. If we work out, we create oxidative stress. If we're pregnant, We create oxidative stress. You know, we have to have oxygen. And the minute oxygen hits that apple, it begins that deterioration. But if we have antioxidants, what it's doing, we're putting those fruits and vegetables that naturally have those antioxidants, it begins to protect our bodies. And we slow down that aging process. So when we've all heard our mama say, eat your fruits and vegetables, but they never told us why. The reason is not only that they're good for us, but it's actually what saves our lives. And only 1 in 10 of adults consume enough fruits and vegetables today. So we need anywhere from like 7 to 13 servings of fruits and vegetables every day. And it seems like that number continues to go up because of our poor quality of food, our poor farming practices, the toxins in the air. You know, produce is picked before the nutrition is fully developed. You know, we may get bananas looking like that are green, picked maybe 2 weeks prior. It's in the last couple of days that the actual nutrients get into the fruits and vegetables. And so that's part of why, even if we are eating a clean diet, we are not getting enough. 90% of Americans don't even eat enough servings. And most people don't get that variety. You know, when I was talking about juicing, we were maybe juicing 4 things. But when it comes to the rainbow, we need every single color. Dr. Smokey Scintilla talks about that the different colors that we eat go toward different systems in our body and different organs. That when he went through and was studying all the different colors, that's why we need that rainbow, because it's depending on what colors we're eating, it's focused on specific organs and systems in our body. Here's another one of those pictures are worth 1,000 words. So on the left, you're going to see a label that would be off of a supplement, some kind of vitamin supplement. And if you look closely, 10,000 units of vitamin A, 3,000 units of vitamin D, 120, whatever that is. I don't know what measurement that is, of vitamin K. Like, these are enormous amounts. I wouldn't even call them nutrients because these are isolated, synthetic, fragmented elements that are made in a lab somewhere. And when we're taking a supplement, what they do is they mega dose that particular synthetic vitamin so that they get some kind of reaction in the body. And you remember I was telling you about my husband whose iron went up high. We don't know what our body needs. And so when we're putting these mega dosed vitamins in our bodies, we'll get a reaction, but unfortunately, it's not always a good reaction. You know, research shows, if you read that last line, research shows that isolated vitamins may do more harm than good. And that's exactly what we saw going on in my husband's body. And we wouldn't even have known it if he hadn't had that blood work being done. But on the right side, what you see, I'm sure you can read all of those, 400 of the 10,000 phytonutrients found in an apple. So when it comes to whole food, what happens is, let's say you go to the doctor and they tell you need more magnesium or whatever. You know, what in a whole food, you get just little amounts of everything. And then what happens is they work synergistically together. So nothing is mega dosed. So what happens when we take an isolated supplement, our body doesn't recognize it. The cells don't absorb it naturally. And what happens is it has to go through our kidneys and our liver to metabolize it and to be able to absorb it. And then it overtaxes our detoxing organs. Whereas when it comes to whole food, your body, those cells recognize what it is. It's a little bit of everything working together within your body. Your body grabs hold of it and knows exactly what to do with it. And that's why whole food's going to be far more powerful in your body. And we don't have to worry about any harm being done to the body. So, well, that's when I discovered Juice Plus. Like I said, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. And we're at home trying to do all this juicing, kind of fighting over who's going to clean up, who's going to juice it. Nobody wants to drink it. And it was about that time somebody shared Juice Plus with me. And I remember bringing, so long ago, it was actually a cassette. And I brought a cassette to my husband. I'm like, you need to listen to this cassette. It's Dr. Richard Du Bois. And he's talking about a whole food concentrate called Juice Plus. And they do the juicing for you. And I remember my husband saying, oh, I don't even have to listen to that. And I'm like, but here's the answer. We don't have to juice anymore. And he said, Elaine, Mom worked for Dr. Du Bois. He was chief of internal medicine at Atlanta Medical for many years. And he said, the guy is just an incredible scientist. He's in the best doctors of the world. If he's recommending it, just buy it for us. And that started our journey. It simplified our health journey, because suddenly, instead of cramming down 4 nasty juices that nobody wanted to drink, suddenly we were able to get these capsules with 30 fruits, vegetables, and berries in them every day in a capsule in a gummy form. So what is Juice Plus? It's whole food, harvested at the peak of ripeness, which we talked about the value in that. The produce is pulverized, so it's kind of like shredded, and it also includes the skin, the core, the seeds. You know, a lot of the fruits and vegetables, most of the nutrients can actually be hidden in the skin. You know, especially I'm thinking like an orange. Who eats an orange peeling? But that's where the majority of the vitamin C is. And then it's put into the capsule in chewable form. And then the latest blend that Juice Plus has brought into about 4 years ago is our Omega blend. It's a full spectrum, 3, 5, 6, 7, and 9. And it comes from algae, berries, and seeds instead of the fish. So we bypass the fish. You're not getting that nasty fish taste that you get with fish oil, because the fish don't produce the omega-3. It's the fish eat the algae, and it's the algae that has the omega-3. So it's a much more sustainable way of getting the omegas and the full spectrum in our diets. Here's what the 3, we call this our trio blend, which is fruit, vegetable, and berry blends. So I have never in my life eaten 30 of these different fruits, vegetables, and berries every day, but I've gotten it in my body every day for 23 years now. You know, I rarely eat, you know, some of these berries. There's bilberry, you know, those I don't even know if you can, it's really difficult to even find them, yet they're so powerful. We hear a lot about elderberry. So within the berry blend, you get the elderberry, but you get all of the other berries as well. You know, when I look at what's in the vegetable blend, you know, I don't eat a whole lot of parsley. It is pretty potent. You know, I look at all of the different fruits and vegetables, and what I see is this array, this rainbow hitting every single organ, every single system in my body is getting nourished on a daily basis. And then when it comes to the omegas, you know, the omegas really hone in on the heart, the brain, the joints, the eyes. I'm a runner. I probably ran 25 miles a week for 15 years and really wore out my knees. And I noticed I had always taken a fish oil. Nothing ever happened. When I switched over to the Juice Plus Omegas, I noticed a huge difference in my knees. So for me personally, I noticed that joint health changing. One thing I'm going to mention when it comes to the omegas, in 2018, you know, forever our heart was, I don't even know if sickest isn't even a word, was the sickest organ. But in 2018, our brain now people have more brain issues than heart issues today. And so the Omega blend really tackles that aging brain as well as the heart, the joints, and the skin and the eyes. So Juice Plus is unique. It's a food. We talked about that. It has a food label, not a supplement label. It's NSF certified by third party. That's the certification that your professional athletes need. And Olympians have to have that NSF certification on anything that they take. And it's the most researched brand nutritional product in the world. And if you ask Suri, she will validate that back to you. Here is all the different universities and hospitals around the world who have researched Juice Plus. I've been doing this for 23 years, and I have people say, well, what about this supplement? What about that supplement? And I always say, let's get the research and let's look and see what is it actually doing in your body. I've yet to have anybody produce research for me to look at. Juice Plus has over 40 peer-reviewed medical studies. They're randomized, double-blind, placebo-controlled, tested on the actual product, done on human clinical trials. And then this one, published in peer-reviewed journals. You know, a lot of people can say they have research, but did the research produce significant enough results to get published in a peer-reviewed journal? That's the question. And I've yet to see any of those. But for Juice Plus, and it's done in an ethical way. One thing I wanted to say, if you look the second line to the bottom, Wake Forest University, that study was on head and neck cancer patients. And if you look, it's actually being funded by the National Institutes of Health. The first time the federal government has ever funded a nutraceutical, you know, obviously they've funded some pharmaceuticals, but first time ever to fund a nutraceutical because of the significance of the research that's been done on Juice Plus. So what is Juice Plus research? What does it tell us? Contributes to our cardiovascular wellness, supports that healthy inflammatory response, supports quality of life, healthy cholesterol, LDL, triglycerides, positive impact on our gut microbiome, supports our lung function, skin, gums, and supports our immune system, helps maintain healthy DNA, reduces that oxidative stress, which we talked about earlier. We know our body, it's bioavailable, our body can absorb it, and it improves several key cognitive functions. I love what Dr. Richard Du Bois says. He says, there's nothing else available anywhere in the world with or without a prescription that's been clinically proven to do what Juice Plus can do. We have what's called a children's health study. I don't know if to me, this is the most unique thing about Juice Plus, that with every adult that gets on Juice Plus, kids between 4 all the way through 25 can get Juice Plus for free. And you can see the impact that it's having on future generations, making that shift from what we looked at the beginning of our talk to really beginning to educate. And I love that about Juice Plus is that it's not just about here, take a pill. It's let's lock arms and let's go together on this health journey. And I love that about Juice Plus. We talked about the capsules and the gummies, which I would call your micronutrients. We also have macronutrients, which would be our Juice Plus Complete Shake. And this brings another 10 different whole foods. If you do your capsules and your shakes, you're getting a whole nother 10 different whole food nutrients. And this would be our macro. And I always kind of like to think of it as if you've got a car, you need oil and gas. So the oil would be those micronutrients. The gas would be the macronutrients in a shake. I am on a kick right now. I like taking like a half a scoop. I drink 1 cup in the morning of coffee. So I'll do a half a cup of coffee, half a scoop of the chocolate, and then I'll froth up some plant milk with a little bit of peppermint and then top it off. oh my gosh, I can't wait to get up in the morning to drink my coffee complete drink. So it's very versatile in different ways in which you can make protein bars with it. You can make a shake with it, or like me, now that it's getting colder, I love drinking it in my coffee. We also have what's called Juice Plus Perform. The exciting thing is that in October, we just found out that U.S. Olympic Center is now having the Juice Plus products within that workout facility. And this is an incredible workout drink. You don't have to be a professional athlete. I drink it every day after I get finished working out. I love that I get 25 grams of protein instantly, easily. Also that it has those good natural occurring B vitamins in it, beetroot and tart cherry for recovery. Again, NSF certified, vegan, gluten-free, cleanest product you can get. Love it. So Juice Plus isn't about just here, just take this, don't worry about it. We really want to do, what we want to do is bridge the gap between, sometimes, unfortunately, this is what real life looks like. We're on the go, we're fast paced, but adding the Juice Plus products bridges that gap to help make sure we're getting that solid nutrition in our bodies every single day. In January, one of the beautiful, well, we do it frequently throughout the year, but we have a free program called the JUMPSTART to Better Health Shred 10. And we will have one in January where we take 10 days utilizing the Juice Plus products. And we have some guidelines of, we stay away from gluten, sugar, let's see, Allison, help me here. Coffee, alcohol,
Processed food, just,
yeah.
it's kind of like a sort of similar to Whole30. They probably all know what Whole30 is.
Exactly. So we'll do that for 10 days. And so what we're doing is removing the bad stuff, pumping in all the Juice Plus products. And what we've seen is some pretty remarkable stories. And a great way to kick off the new year for people. We can do a Facebook group where people every day you're getting reminded of, here's what we're doing, here's why we're doing it. So it's just a great way. Sometimes people will just put together a text group and they'll text each other. And so it's just a fun way to lock arms with friends and family and fellow Juice Plusers. And we just together really kick off the month. We try to do it the first of every month to really get our month started off strong. So I'm going to kind of shut up now. I know I've talked your ear off, so we'll give a chance for you guys to ask any questions. But I just want to, and I know Allison will echo with me, is just, we want to invite you in some way to join us on this health journey. Maybe it's just becoming a customer and, just an easy way to make sure you get that powerful nutrition in your body every single day. Or maybe as I'm talking, you're sitting here thinking, oh my goodness, I need to tell so-and-so about this, and this person, and my mom, my dad, my sister, my brother. Sometimes, and this was for me personally, because when I started taking Juice Plus, I had just quit my job and I'm a financial planner. I'd done that for like 10 years. And so we lost half of our income. And so when I got introduced to Juice Plus, I'm like, this is exactly what we need. I was saying to my husband, how are we going to afford this? So I started whittling away at our grocery bill because I knew that's exactly what this was. But we got started, and then I started telling all my friends, because what I began to see was changes in our health. I didn't think we were sick, but about 4 months in, the migraines that I used to have went away. I suddenly had energy to finish the day. I saw my oldest daughter, who was getting sick every 3 or 4 weeks in the daycare. Suddenly I'm like, when's the last time she was sick? So I begin to see these changes. I start telling all my friends, and my husband looked at me and he said, I think you found career 2.0. I think this is something you're passionate about. And so, maybe you're sitting here hearing that thinking, you know what, I would. And so I say, he goes, at least do it enough to cover our costs. You've already told enough people. And I thought, okay, I know I've shared it with enough people. And so I started out with just saying, I'm just going to do it to cover our cost. And so, that started me on this journey. What I love about Juice Plus, there's no quota. You can, you don't have to buy any amount or sell any amount. You go at whatever pace. And that was important to me. But what I found out after a while was I missed my income. I wanted an income stream coming in. And so after a few months, I thought, this is something I want to really continue to build and grow. And 23 years later, I still get up and I'm still excited to be doing it today. So not sure where you guys are. You can ask questions, but we'd love for you to join us at whatever level you want to join us. We welcome you to join us. Allison, I'll turn it back over to you.
Yes, thank you all so much for hopping on. And I honestly wish I had this information when I was y'all's age. I always would tell my boys, like, when you see people with health issues, it starts so much younger. And so whether it's health or lack of health, what y'all are doing today will make a difference when you are trying to get pregnant, when you are pregnant, when you're nursing, when you're raising children. And I just didn't have this information. Like I said, all we knew was low fat. And I realized pretty quickly, a lot of my skinny friends were getting, were being diagnosed with things. So it's so much more than that. It really is good whole food. And I just remember when my mom shared this with me, my sister and I were like, oh, that's easy. Fruits and vegetables. We just got like, oh, I can do that. And it was about 3 days in. I think I was expecting Reed when my father passed away. So I had 2 little ones and I was pregnant, and it was 3 days in and I'm like, wow, this is hard. It was really hard to get the number of servings every day. Even if they said Monday, Wednesday, Friday, it was a possibility, but not every day. And we didn't get the wide variety, because even if I bought the wide variety, it would rot in the refrigerator, because you cannot get your kids to eat things they don't like, and nor will I eat things I don't like. So I just felt like Elaine said this was a great way to bridge the gap. But the mission of the Juice Plus Company is inspiring healthy living around the world, and they offer free resources as well. So we would love for you to jump in, add Juice Plus to your diet, and see what happens. I love hearing stories of what people share. Sometimes I'm like, that's a new one. I mean, people always are sharing different things. I just say to people, I really don't know what this will do for you, but when you look at the ingredients, if you ate that every day, something good is going to happen. And I actually even had one friend who didn't notice anything. And I'm like, that's okay. Look at the research. We know it's doing good. You may or may not feel, prevention, but you also may or may not feel disease. I mean, how many people have we known that, feel like they're healthy? And she had a blood test that's done if her mother had died of ovarian cancer. So she does this CA 125 blood test. And every year her number was getting higher. So it wasn't alarming, but it was moving in that direction that was beginning to get concerning. And she went to the doctor. They did the blood work, her annual blood work, and it had dropped like 6 points. And he was like, well, what are you doing? And she said, nothing. And she goes, I can't believe it. And so she got in the car, and on the way home, she was like, oh, wait a minute. I did have Juice Plus 5 months ago. And so it's just a great sign of, even though she didn't feel it, the blood work showed positive results. But I just want to thank y'all for coming. I want you to know, take advantage of our free resources. Margaret can send you some recipe books. If you would love to give the shakes a try or get started on the product, we'd love that. And I'm sure that she would love to lock arms with you too, if you want to help offset the cost, or even just, run with it and share. I know one of the things that's been encouraging to her when she is working in oncology, that's heavy. And sometimes I'm sure, that she was just saying to me, like, I love that I can share Juice Plus and it's something doable that people can do and really helps people. So I say, hey, come on aboard and let's have fun. But I do want to just let y'all ask any questions you might have about anything. So we'll kind of, Elaine, if you want to